Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is Saturday morning. I hope everybody's doing great. My name is Jeremy Baker. With me, of course, is Mike Falino. What's going on, Mike?
Not too much.
I know, right? We got a fun show lined up. We've been doing
Well,
some serious shows, so we decided just to have fun with this one. So we're going to talk about the
yeah,
GOP debate, if that's what you want to call it,
debate.
which was an epic disaster on all fronts. And I think it proved clearly that Chris Christie's the only one trying to run for the Republican nomination of presidency in a realistic way. Everybody else is out of their damn
Yeah.
minds. And we also have the mass triggering of the world's greatest snowflake, Donald Trump. He has been triggered by the Lincoln Project, Robert De Niro, Liz Cheney's book, yeah, and everything else that's going on in the
A
world.
cool breeze. It's a little too
Yeah,
much
right. Yeah.
sunshine. Coffee not the right temperature.
Yeah, everything's everybody else's fault. It's hilarious though. Like the debate was just here. I'll pull the first slide
Yeah,
up.
it's
This is quite literally how it went. In a Harry Potter reference, Christie compared Trump to an evil wizard Voldemort, saying his on-stage rivals were too scared to say Trump's name out loud and make a robust case against his reelection. And there's Vivek with his little tablet.
I mean,
You know,
he's
it's
not wrong,
embarrassing.
Chris Christie. I mean, we've said this, you bring it up all the time, that these debates are, at least in their minds,
Mhm.
it's them auditioning for a vice president role that they're never going to get. We've said this plenty of times. There's just the fact that they are in the debate in Trump's mind
Mhm.
means they're disloyal. So they're
Right.
automatically never going to get picked, no matter how far up his butt they climb, no matter how deeply they crawl into his colon. He's
Mhm.
never going to pick them. And that's why, as much as I hate to say it, at least I respect Chris Christie, because he knows he's not going to be anything. He's just using this as a way to let people know how much he sees Donald Trump for who he is and how the rest of them refuse to talk about it.
Yeah, and none of them, except for maybe Nikki Haley, which she's been dogged so bad by Donald Trump. I mean, if
Yeah.
she has any self-respect for her or any self-respect, she wouldn't even take the nomination if he
No.
asked her to. But Trump, at this point, everybody's convinced has to pick a female as the VP candidate because obviously he's he's the greatest at everything. He's definitely the world's greatest misogynist. So the only way he's going to win over any female votes at this point is to have a woman by his side.
But
Problem:
oh,
Donald Trump only likes pretty women by his side, so that eliminates some people. I mean, the list is
well,
vast.
he likes women that fit what his narrative of a beautiful woman is. So if
Right.
they
Well,
look like his daughter, they could be vice president.
exactly. Like Christy Nome is probably one of the biggest names being floated around as his VP nod. Then we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, Carrie Lake, even Tucker Carlson has made the list of possible vice president nods. I mean, are you out of your mind? Like, what are you guys smoking that you possibly would even consider Tucker Carlson for anything
Oh my
remotely government?
God.
And the
Well,
people he wants to put in his cabinet are absolutely insane
but
as
he
well.
loves the Tucker Carlson. Why? Because for the most part, as far as I can remember, Tucker's actually stayed loyal to Trump. He never
Right.
turned on him when it was obvious that you should, you
You know,
know.
that's a good point you made because I think that's the reason none of these people will directly attack him on stage because he has openly said that he's going to go after anybody that
Yep,
opposes him
yep.
he's going to weaponize the government. So they're
So what is it? A
scared
bunch of weak
that if he
Republicans.
wins that he's going to go after them for talking ill
Yep.
about him. So, but here's the polls and for some reason Donald Trump is crushing the competition with 91 charges, 4 indictments in different jurisdictions, 2 impeachments. Like I can't even say the word I want to use, but what seriously, what is going on
I,
with you guys? There's
I,
so many better options out there, and they've decided to worship probably one of the worst people in America.
well, it's
Somebody.
funny
But
because
anyway, go
they
ahead. Go
look at
ahead.
Trump as this brilliant thing, right? But like, look who else is there running. Forget the whole they're not going to be vice president, even though they know they're
Mhm.
running for vice president. Like,
Yeah.
you take Chris Christie out of it because he's the only one that, even though he has his own culpability of Trump, he's clearly not a Trumper, right? But the rest of
Mhm.
them, Trumpers are not. They're just scumbags. Vivek Ramaswamy is something. I'm not even sure what he is. I don't know.
I
He's
don't
trying
even
to
know what to
be
make of
like an
him.
Elon Musk. I'm cool. Gen Z love me, but I'm also a
Yeah.
lunatic hypocrite. Ron DeSantis is a cocaine robot that runs on nothing but meth and Adderall or something, because he just walks around like a robot and chatters his teeth the whole time.
He does.
He doesn't even respect her own name and is trying to pass bills that says that trans kids can't, go by chosen names in school. They have to be okay, but you're choosing your name. So like we have a bunch of hypocrites and shitbags. So
Haley said in the debate that Ron DeSantis's "Don't Say Gay" bill didn't go far enough.
Like these people aren't like better alternatives than Trump.
No,
maybe they didn't directly help plan a coup or an insurrection, but they're all bags of garbage, like trash bags left out in the sun. So
let me play. I'll play Vivek's clip first. Thank you for the Midas Touch for reporting. Actually, a couple of videos in here from the Midas Touch.
He's fascinating.
But this is him going full blown conspiracy theory. And the one thing that blows me away is he's talking about the Great Replacement theory. But dude, you're not white. Why would you promote the Great? That's stupid. Doesn't make any sense.
Tempted to take
this is him auditioning for vice president.
Truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job?
No, it doesn't.
That the government lied to us for 20 years.
You didn't even vote in that election.
Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11. That the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform. That the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech. That the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also...
I swear to God, the only thing the guy's missing right now is a tinfoil hat.
The one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment. That actually put up
even the moderators like, dude,
they're like, shut up.
There's a reason why I'm the only person on the stage who can say these things. That's what it's going to take, not people who are licking his boots one time and now Monday morning quarterbacking and criticizing him when it's convenient.
Wow. What do you say to that?
He went full Stockholm syndrome almost. And I know I'm using that wrong, but like you said it in the beginning, Vivek Ramaswamy, you have two things going against you, your name and the color of your skin. And when I say against you, I mean, not for me. If you were a Democrat and you weren't a lunatic, a batshit crazy lunatic, I would consider voting for you because I don't care what the color of your skin is or what your name is. But you're fighting tooth and nail for a party that would round up anyone in a shade between here and here that matches that and put them in a camp or kick him out of the country. Do you really think Trump voters know that you're not some Mexican terrorist? They don't even know where your country is on a map, guy.
Well, you know, it's funny. It's not funny, but when it regards to Vivek, Mike Davis has talked about wanting to not only deport people that pretty much everybody, their grandparents, their kids, their whole family, which would put Vivek in a tight predicament. So he should stop promoting a completely debunked bullshit theory that somehow people are trying to replace white people. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I just wonder,
and I will
not. Do you think Mike Davies would advocate for deporting Melania Trump?
Nah, she was bought and paid for, so she's actually owned. There's probably a bill of sale somewhere. Oh, sorry. I had to do it. Anyway, let's go to the Lincoln Project. Someone else that we'll talk about here in a second that is completely triggering, blowing Trump's mind up. And this is their
summary.
Talk
about rent-free.
Right. This is the summary they did of the debate, and it's about a minute and a half long. It's perfect.
Wind up the leader of the free world.
Nah.
Look at DeSantis.
You get to express your mind freely, no matter how heinous the opinion.
No drama, no vendettas, no whining.
This is a woman who will send your kids to die.
Oh, there's the paper bag.
This is the problem. Using identity politics more effectively than Kamala Harris.
I actually said
he looks so uncomfortable. Look at him.
Didn't go far enough.
The king of the woke industrial complex, puppets of the puppet master, George Soros Jr. You can put lipstick on a Dick Cheney. It is still a fascist neocon.
You would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America.
Thank you, Christy.
I signed a bathroom bill in Florida.
Boys going to a boys' bathroom, girls going to a girls' bathroom.
Excuse me, Chris, I'm speaking, and I'm not done yet.
I haven't heard a time when you aren't
and we're
speaking.
Be done.
If I say the sky is blue,
he really is good at being a politician.
They would still support him even if convicted of federal felonies. Federal felonies, by the way.
They all had man dresses on. You didn't know if someone had a bomb. Just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal. He didn't even fire Dr. Fauci.
I wish I was still 44 years old, okay?
45.
So, well, congratulations.
January 6th now does look like it was an inside job.
I would draw inspiration from Ronald Reagan.
I think George Washington.
We can learn an awful lot from Calvin.
Thomas Jefferson. The swivel chair.
Mr. Trump is nearly 50 points ahead of all of you.
And Nikki Haley's campaign launch video sounded like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad. She said that I have a woman
the transphobia is
Nikki, I don't have a
oozing out of
It's just more buzzwords to get their base triggered.
You'll all be heading to the polls to vote. And that's something that Donald Trump will not be able to do, because he will be convicted of felonies before then, and his right to vote will be taken away.
Ouch. Thank you, Lincoln Project, for that. But he's got a point. Trump that's the one thing I never understood about this country. You can run for president of the United States while incarcerated for murder, anything. You can still run for president, but you can't vote for yourself. That makes no sense.
There's a part of me that wants to think that there was some higher moral assumption made a long time ago that the people of the United States of America, who at the time had the right to vote, because we know not everyone did, but the people with the power to vote wouldn't vote for a convicted murderer or a convicted piece of garbage or someone who tried to overthrow the government. I got to tell you, back then, you know, education maybe meant something different, but they valued an educated voting base. Again, even though it was an exclusionary voting base, they assumed that the people voting might have some basic functional intelligence.
You know,
and that assumption is gone now.
No, this is eerily like Hitler's uprising in World War II. Because I don't know many people know this, but Hitler went to prison. That was actually, I think, where he wrote Mein Kampf.
That's where he wrote Mein Kampf. Yep.
Yeah, then he gets out of prison, ends up winning with a minority of the population, 43%. And then we have World War II, 6 million Jews.
And why did he go to jail? Why did he go to jail? I know.
Do you?
His first failed coup attempt.
Oh, that's right. That's right. See what I mean? Like,
it's like right there.
It's right almost there. Repeating itself, except for, luckily for us, Donald Trump is brazenly obvious and completely stupid. And it surrounds himself with some of the dumbest people.
He surrounds himself with people that might actually be dumber and worse at their jobs than him, and that is a completely shocking thing to me.
Right, like his lawyer. His lawyer recently argued in the Colorado case. Remember the Colorado case where the judge, it was to take him off the ballot. The judge ruled he was an insurrectionist, but he was still allowed to be on the ballot. They appealed that, and his lawyer said it was only 3 hours long. It wasn't even 3 hours long. That can't possibly be an insurrection, because it was.
I read I saw a good video. I forget who it was.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It might have been Farron Cousins who did it, where he.
It was him. It was Farron Cousins.
And he's like, they won the case. Because no matter what they said that Trump was, they still vote. The judge still said he can be on the ballot. So he's an insurrectionist, but he could be on the ballot, which itself is absolutely batshit crazy. But Trump and his team of lawyers decided that they didn't want the word insurrectionist be part of the official record. So they're appealing the ruling that he in fact is an insurrectionist. They're not having anything to do with that. He is on the ballot. So in court, in front of the Supreme Court, his lawyer is like blah, shitting all over the place because he's barely a lawyer, to the point where if you watch the video, the judges are like, are you serious? Like, at one point he's like, oh yeah, the blah blah blah, not an insurrectionist, and one of the judges was like, so let's use George Washington Carver as an example. If the majority of people wanted to vote him in, a known insurrectionist, would that be okay? And the lawyer was like, well, we're all just making this shit up. I don't actually know.
I know.
He actually said we're making this up. Come on.
He did actually say we're just making this stuff up. But then keep in mind, this is the same, I think this is the same lawyer that had the balls to put in writing in a filing that Trump was not obligated to uphold the Constitution while president of the United States. All right. So, all right. One last clip of the debate, and then we're going to move on to triggered Trump. This is Chris Christie, and I don't like Christie, but he is the only one that I think would not overthrow our democracy if elected
and not nuke Mexico.
President. Right, and not demonize an entire. I mean, the guy's policies are terrible, but at the same time, he's not a complete psychopath, I guess, because that's what we're dealing with.
He's a shitty Republican, but he's not
all the
despicable
screaming
monster.
and the shouting.
To me, he's the only viable candidate, even though I can't stand him.
As a Republican candidate, yes, he's viable.
It just turns Americans off. You seemed to get that, 15 minutes into the debate. Talk about what you saw from up there.
I love how he called Ramaswamy a blowhard.
Well, what I saw are three people who are in the land of make-believe. Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis.
He's not running for anything. He's only there
Let's just
to
end
call
the
out
conversation
Trump.
about him here. He's like a drunk driver on the debate stage. I mean, this is a guy who you never know where he's going to go and what he's going to make up next, what lane he's going to swerve into. But with Ron and Nikki, they're in a make-believe thing that somehow this contest is between the two of them. The contest between the two of them is for, who's going to be the first loser.
I mean, he's right, though. They're not running for president.
But that just goes to show you. Oh, go ahead.
They're not even discussing policies, though. Well, they're talking about transphobia, fear this.
It's funny.
You suck. You did this. You know what I mean? It's like watching a high school debate.
Yep.
Or class president almost.
But building on that, it's not. There's the two sides of it. They're not talking about policy because they don't have policies. They've narrowed their voting base so much that the base only responds to buzzwords. You can't actually discuss theories, policies, plans with them. But also, who are these debates aimed at? Mm-hmm. Because no matter what we like to say about moderates and people in the middle, that number is so much smaller than people want to admit, because you're either going to vote for Trump or you're not going to vote for Trump. In my bullshit made up estimation, that's got to be 75% or more of the population. So who are they fighting for? That's probably not even going to vote anyway, because if you're undecided, you're not voting. And who are they trying to convince? So they're talking mindless nonsense to a base that isn't even paying attention to them anymore. So
I know.
I don't.
They're not even following what they're saying, though. That's the problem. Is the people that are voting for Trump, they're not actually watching what Trump is doing.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter.
They don't have a clue what he's actually doing behind the scenes because they're not paying attention.
They wouldn't believe it even if they saw it.
There was an interview they did with this guy, and they're like, "Name one policy under Trump that has benefited you." And the kid literally stood there and went, for like a minute.
Or the best part. The best part.
I don't know. I just like Trump.
You get the older people and they get asked that question and they're like, well, he just loved America and it's good to see that. And I want to see that again. How did they benefit you? Well, I mean, he's a straight shooter and he loves America. What did they do? And it's just circle of bullshit nonsense.
Yeah, it really is. So, all right, moving on from the debate, we got to talk about Trump being massively triggered this week. Lincoln Project by De Niro. Liz Cheney, wow, that was an explosion right there. So I have a couple posts that I can go over with you guys before I show some videos. This one is about the Lincoln Project.
He's losing.
They are getting under his skin. The perverts and losers at the failed and once disbanded Lincoln Project and others are using AI. I love how he always explains what the initials stand for.
So the footage now of him being an asshole is all AI, apparently.
Right. Well, now, I mean, he always does it he does AI, and then I'll put in parentheses artificial intelligence.
Is he reminding himself?
Or he'll say, they're going after your favorite president, in parentheses, me. And
Donald Trump. Yeah, just to
forgot. All right. Using AI in their fake television commercials in order to make me look bad and pathetic as crooked Joe Biden. Not an easy thing to do. Fox News shouldn't run these ads, just as low ratings CNN and MSDNC. I guess they're all Democrats now.
Oh, is that his clever little?
I guess. Yeah, he's trying to be clever and give these guys little nicknames, but he gets triggered by an ad, just a commercial. And the commercials that they're showing, they've done some AI ones that are pretty good, but the ones that are getting under his skin
or him,
footage of him. Here, and I have one. I think it was called Welcome to the Clown Show. So this is another Lincoln Project ad I'll show.
Gonna be bad.
Appreciate you all for paying attention so quietly. If you guys could just be a little bit louder here. He keeps it light.
You were dead. You're a dead person. Today, the American dream is dead. It's a dead dream. And now I'm going to die.
So I think we should make America laughs again.
Oh, we're laughing.
Who think President Trump is a rock star badass?
I wouldn't allow anybody to put their tent up on our lawn.
Didn't know there was
What
one of
the
those.
hell is
That's
he
pretty cool.
talking
He tried
about?
to change his name
I have
to
no idea.
Ron DeSantis.
But this is
Never
the stuff he
change
talks
your
about at
name
his
in the middle of
rallies.
the campaign. It's not a good thing.
There's a name that I don't want to forget about, and I won't forget it now. Mike Lindell.
The caucus time, Bush probably tried. Who knows what he did? I doubt it. I doubt it. This was not from playing tiddlywinks.
Because we need a leader to stand up to foreign leaders.
I have a red button also, but mine's bigger, better, and it works. Shut up, silly woman.
Donald Trump.
All right, we can stop it right there. There's more. If you guys want to see the rest of that, go to Lincoln Project's any of their social media. They do the best ads, and it gets oh my god, it gets under Donald Trump's skin.
Yeah, even Megyn Kelly, who is the Fox Barbie cookie cutter, perfect Aryan newscaster woman,
Yeah,
finally the other day started talking on air that Trump is losing his freaking mind. Like, I'm not taking Fox off the hook. They belong to hang on that hook as long as they can suffer, but at least they're starting to be like, oh, this guy, he's a little nuts. I mean,
yeah,
and
just
we're
a
seeing
tad,
clips
just
of
a
it.
tad.
If you look at the whole speeches he does, it's 45 minutes sometimes of that.
Just gibberish.
And the funny
Just
part
gibberish.
is the crowd, it goes back to what we've said. It's all about buzzwords. You could hear that the crowd has no clue what he's talking about because he's not making coherent sentences or points. And they're literally quiet until they hear a buzzword. So it's rambling Trump, quiet crowd, and then transgender or Soros,
I know.
and then they cheer and then they go back down. It's like they don't know what the hell he's talking about until they hear one of the
these
words.
are very low energy crowds he's been pulling in lately, and he
If
hasn't
they're
been
even
pulling in
full.
crowds like he did in 2016.
No, don't forget
even
the one
close.
that he did where he talked about golden showers in a high school gym.
Gymnasium.
There were, I
yes,
don't even think there was
exactly.
100 people in there. So
No. And he said it was a good record crowd for that place. Record crowd. All right. So let's De Niro was upset. He did, I think it was the Gotham Awards. They actually cut part of his speech because it was about Trump, and he decided, F you, I'm reading this shit anyway.
Yep.
And man, this really triggered Trump. And we have De Niro or Trump's response on his social media platform to go along with this.
Truth is not truth. Even facts are being replaced by alternative facts and driven by conspiracy theories and ugliness. In Florida, young students are taught that slaves develop skills which could be applied for their personal benefit. The entertainment industry isn't immune to this festering disease. The Duke John Wayne famously said of Native Americans, "I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them. There were great numbers of people who needed new land, and the Indians were selfishly trying to keep it for themselves."
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Lying has become just another tool in the charlatan's arsenal. The former president lied to us more than 30,000 times during his
Tell him.
Thank you. Years in
I love De
office.
Niro.
And he's keeping up the pace in his current campaign of retribution. But with all his lies, he can't hide his soul. He attacks the weak, destroys the gifts of nature, and shows disrespect, for example, by using Pocahontas as a slur. Filmmakers, on the other hand, strive. This is where I came in and I saw that they edited all that.
Good for him, though.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, I mean, it's De Niro, for crying out loud. De Niro's going to go down as one of the most legendary actors of all time. I mean, the guy's been in, I don't even know, hundreds of
Yeah, I
movies
mean, he's
at this
Robert
point.
De Niro. Like, do we need to? Like, do we need
Yeah,
to?
so
even...
this is what Trump posts. I think this was like 1 a.m. Robert De Niro, whose acting talents have greatly diminished
What is that?
with
Your
his
talents don't
reputation now
diminish.
shot. Right. Must even use a teleprompter for his foul and disgusting language. So
What?
disrespectful to our country. What?
What did he say? That
He
was
has
foul?
become unwatchable in both movies and with the fools that destroyed the Academy Awards, bringing them one of the top shows in the country to a low-rated afterthought. De Niro should focus on his life, which is a mess, rather than, you know what? I really wish I could say how I feel about this. I mean, how are you going to pick apart De Niro? The guy is built again.
Yeah,
projection. He's jealous.
Donald Trump has like a boilerplate response or post, and he just puts in different people's names because, and this isn't pity on him, but can you imagine the horrible nightmare that is his consciousness if every single post he makes is just the same ranting, I'm going to put everyone down, then I'm going to blame everyone else, and you should love me. Next post, put everyone down, blame everyone else, you should love me. And it's like the same freaking post with the same language. The guy
really is
a pathetic clown of a loser. And he's putting down people that the rest of us don't care. Hear me out. I don't care if you put anyone down. You could put down Robert De Niro, but I'm going to judge Robert De Niro on what he says, what he does, and the movies I watch of him. If my opinion of Robert De Niro changed because he spoke poorly about you, there's a problem, because now I'm listening to you and your hurt feelings tell me who I should listen to and like and think about. And that's not how the world works, but that's how his believers and his followers and his cult work. They don't have thoughts unless he tells them what to think. So that's all this is him feeding them. This is who you hate this week. This is who we're going to argue about this week. It's generating content for himself to motivate his base. I'm just going to hate on this guy that talked about me. I'm going to hate on that guy that talked about me.
I picture Trump in his jammies that are probably made of gold.
Gold thread.
In his bed alone because Melania's not there. She wouldn't even touch the guy. Tweeting or whatever, truthing at 1 a.m. The man is 77 years old and he wants to be the leader of the most powerful country in the world. And he's triggered at 1 a.m. like an angry bipolar teenager. I mean, dude, take your meds or find something that works. You know what I mean? It is. Because take your phone away, cut the guy's Wi-Fi off. Like, don't pay his cell phone bill. I don't care. Just do something to shut this tween up. Like, Donald Trump acts like such a baby all the time. I'm such a victim. Oh, they said something bad about me.
It's funny.
He calls the really funny a mental midget in another post.
The right, MAGA, Republicans, the GOP, everyone on that side of things hates Gen Z because they like to say that Gen Z are the ones that complain about everything's not their fault, it's everyone else's fault. Their king alpha male emperor is literally the one that more than anyone else on the planet projects, blames other people, says he's a victim, oh, woe is me. You are choosing the biggest coward, and you're imparting those coward ideals onto a whole generation. By the way, you look at what Gen Z does, and they're the ones that confronts all the MAGA people with receipts and make them look like fools. And they're the ones that are going through school, getting their voting for, their voter registrations done. They're the ones that are motivated and trying to fix this country from people like him. Meanwhile, he's the one whining and complaining. Like his supporters, I don't understand how you could not see what this guy is. Like, even that they're a cult and that they've been brainwashed. He's such a small, petty little coward. I don't understand.
He is. I 100% agree with that. So let me go to, he did a speech in, I think it was Iowa again, because he's losing footing in Iowa. So he constantly goes back, where Fox News had to cut away from his speech to fact check him. And the best part was after they cut away from his speech, they didn't go back. They went to DeSantis instead. But I'll play. This is from Francis Maxwell at the Midas Touch Network.
A long time, but we did it for 4 years, and that's why we did so well. That's why it was one of the great presidencies, they say.
Well, the Newsmax.
Even the opponents sometimes say that he did very well. I have to say, take it back, they scream. His people say, take it back. They want to talk about your dishwashers and how much water you're going to have in your dishwasher, even though they don't work. And all of the other things that you have that were so precious and dear and that you never really appreciated until now because they want to take them away. But I think if you had a real election and Jesus came down and God came down and said, I'm going to be the scorekeeper here, I think it would win there. I think it would win in Illinois, and I think it would win in New York, which is all.
That was his attempt to try to be a Christian.
Places, in theory, only got indicted once. He got indicted. I got indicted 4 times because I'm questioning a crooked election. But we're not questioning it. We know the results. We know it.
Well, the former president finally got around to some campaign promises amid lots of cheering, as you heard. Many untruths. The 2020 election was not rigged. It was not stolen.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Ouch. You know things are going bad in a speech if Fox News, of all people, has to cut away.
She still goes, ooh, we're cutting away. And amongst all those loud cheers, they're still like giving it to him. But then they're like, yeah. But, we have to have the disclaimer that obviously the election wasn't stolen. So that's really just them to save their ass so they don't get sued again. Because she started the sentence by like puffing them up. Ooh, big crowd. Everyone's cheering.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. So the next person to trigger Donald Trump, I think he stays up at night thinking about this lady.
Oh, yeah.
Is Liz Cheney. So.
Oh, yeah.
In her upcoming book, which I think was released since the time I
think so. I'm not sure.
Reveals exactly why Kevin McCarthy visited Mar-a-Lago after the Jan 6 insurrection. Cheney wrote, McCarthy said Trump was depressed after the attack on the Capitol. Oh, and wasn't eating. And we have a picture of Trump and McCarthy at Mar-a-Lago, actually exclusive footage only here on The Voice of Reason. Yeah. There's McCarthy feeding old Donald Trump some Jell-O, doing his job. I find this ironic, actually, because this seems to be the thing. And come to find out, the only reason because McCarthy denounced Trump or whatever after Jan 6th, after the insurrection. Then he figured out we don't have any money and I can't find any money to fundraise with. So he went to the Mar-a-Lago. That was the real reason he went to Mar-a-Lago.
Kiss the ring, bend the knee.
Right. Now he's leaving. He is the GOP's best fundraiser in the House, I believe. Mm-hmm. And recently, Mike Johnson, who is now the responsible for doing all the fundraising, went down to Mar-a-Lago and bent the knee to Donald Trump. And now all of a sudden, we're getting impeachments and all this stuff's coming back up again.
What do you need from us, Mr. Lord and Savior? Oh, sure,
exactly.
We'll do that.
These people are willing to denounce him on one side, but as soon as the money dries up, we need Trump's help. Yep. And it's not because Trump has the money. He just has a list of crooked ass donors that are willing to give to overthrow democracy. That's all it is. So, and Liz Cheney's book, actually, you know what? Let me play the video because it's just great.
Yeah.
Right. Get ready. Cheney, Mar-a-Lago? What the hell, Kevin McCarthy? They're really worried. Trump's not eating. So they asked me to come see him. Cheney, what? You went to Mar-a-Lago because Trump's not eating? McCarthy, yeah, he's really depressed.
Oh, poor little baby. Poor little Trump was upset that his.
He should have got. He loves McDonald's so much. They should have got him a Happy Meal.
I know, right? He was so sad that his insurrection didn't work. That he was depressed and not eating. I believe that. I actually do believe that.
I don't know if I believe that. I got to tell you, that guy has a serious fast food addiction.
He does, right? That's true. If he isn't eating McDonald's, though, it's an emergency. That's probably what it was.
I could see him sitting there just being mad.
He stopped ordering Instacart and DoorDash.
Yeah, I could see him just chewing on ketchup packets.
So here we go. In the book called Oath and Honor, a memoir and a warning. I love how she's like his worst nightmare. So strong is the lure of power that men and women who had once seemed reasonable and responsible were suddenly willing to violate their oath to the Constitution out of political expediency and loyalty to Donald Trump.
It's really as simple as that.
Right. And these people are willing, especially the people like Mike Johnson, who really showed his inexperience and lack of self-awareness this week. Which we'll talk about in a different show. These people are willing to completely, if they had the option, they would walk in and burn the original version of the Constitution. If they had their way, that's what they would do. And I'm not being hyperbolic. We use that word on here a lot. I'm not even being sarcastic. These people are willing to shred the very fabric of democracy that we've spent almost the last 2.5 centuries trying to build for Donald Trump.
Who argued in court that he never took an oath on that Constitution. Guess what? Everyone knows that when you become president, you have to swear an oath on the United States Constitution.
Right.
To defend the United States Constitution. Like, it's not that complicated. Everyone knows that. So it goes to show you that their leader, the whole entire party's leader, you have a Kevin McCarthy who was willing to debase himself, his party, his voters, the Constitution, the country itself. He was willing to do that. And then now you have Mike Johnson, who's doing the same thing. So you have two speakers of the House in a row willing to just throw away the Constitution, throw away democracy, throw away all self-respect, any respect for our country, all of that for Donald Trump. Now, whether it's for their own gain, I don't care. Whether it's to fulfill some Christian nationalist dream, I don't care. You are choosing Donald Trump as the person you go to and bend the knee to for his ultimate blessing and power. So you are acquiescing to Donald Trump. You are giving over our country to Donald Trump. That's what you're doing.
Unbelievable. But look at the arrangements they had to make, because both McCarthy and Johnson were agreed to release the Jan 6 footage. McCarthy did it to probably the worst broadcaster in broadcasting history, Tucker Carlson. And then Mike Johnson thinks his genius idea is to blur out some faces and release it to the public. Like, we haven't seen this footage a million times over.
We'll talk about that though, because the sheer bullshit of the reasoning why he gave contradicts every argument Donald Trump and MAGA make about January 6th. So we'll talk about that, because it's pretty.
It does. It really, every single one, every single excuse they have is just debunked by them. They've debunked themselves. They're so bad at this. So here's another post of Donald Trump right off his Truth Social account. I hate the fact that I have to go on there, but I only do it for material for the show, I promise you. And the troll Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's always rewarding. Okay, so on the left is just a random post.
That was it.
Crooked Joe Biden is a threat to democracy in all caps. That's just really random. And then, of course, crazy Liz Cheney, who may be responsible for destroying the evidence from the J6 Unselect Committee, making all cases, past and present, highly questionable at best. I feel like I have to scream everything. Is suffering from massive case of Trump derangement syndrome, something else he made up, and just loss of progression, blah, 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 blah. Threat to democracy, DJ.
Great. Whatever.
These are not the rantings of a reasonable, level-headed, functioning brain.
So now all the footage of him that is unflattering is AI, and all of the evidence that he said there was that there isn't, that is never manifested, was destroyed by the January 6th committee.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, it's not me, it's all of them, and they're doing this big conspiracy to stop poor little old me.
I wonder if I still have that one video. Because we're almost at the end of the show. Let me see if I still have it. I think it's the video that drove him off the edge. Damn it, I may not have it. The feeble one. The one where they show him barely. They show out.
Yeah.
They really do. It's so bad. I don't have it. I must have.
But the point is none of it's AI. And I'll tell you why. He tried to explain it away a few weeks ago, saying, specifically whenever he refers to Joe Biden as Obama, I do that intentionally to show that Obama is still in charge. Well, but now you're saying that all that footage is AI. So which is it?
He said on his social media platform that he is saying the wrong names because he's being sarcastic.
Yeah.
That's not sarcasm. What we do is sarcasm.
Yeah, what
he does is just losing his marbles.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have the video. Damn it. Oh, I'm so upset. I wish I still had that one.
One less video of Trump to watch.
I know, but it's so funny, man. It's so
it's funny. And you know what? Like, I fight within myself sometimes to not let it stay at funny. I don't want to just look at him as a joke, because as much of a joke he is even more of a threat. But
you're right.
My God, it's funny. It just is funny. And unfortunately, the consequence of it makes it even funnier, because dark humor is not only our thing. I think it's what makes most people survive. So like the dark humor of Donald Trump is like the best material we've ever had, but it is also the most dangerous.
Yeah, this is the one that triggered him. I found it.
Oh God.
I found it. Yes.
He's a broflake. He's the king of broflakes.
This is gonna be a Lincoln Project feature. Oh wait, no, we gotta do it the right way. Hold on.
Did we never did that episode on broflakes, did we? We got.
No, we decided to change it. We're gonna do it another time. And yeah, the Broflakes one's gonna be a fun one to do. Hold on, guys. I'm getting there. I swear I'm getting there. I swear I'm getting there.
I mean, it's hard to even narrow it down, but like there are specific videos. I wonder if it's like he was having a bad day or like a good day, depending on what video triggers him. Because man, it's funny when he gets real mad because the context of what he says makes more less sense.
I can tell you he is
sorry, I
as
didn't mean to cut you
sharp
off. This is the one
now
that
as he was when I knew him 30 years ago.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
Those cognitive test results are absolutely fantastic.
We built almost 500 miles of wall. Even the Obama administration says it in their stats.
He's incredibly sharp. He's got a better memory than I have, than you have.
But they all thought that Bush might win, Jeb. He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out?
There's no decline, zero.
President Obama, he should immediately resign.
President Trump is fit.
Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's the leader of Turkey.
Of course, Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary.
He makes one little mistake, the media goes insane.
Obama wants to, he doesn't even mention them in his statement.
Well, you mean President Biden?
His cognition is top notch.
Sioux Falls, thank you very much, Sioux Falls. So Sioux City.
It's so bad. I love their commercials. That's why we use them, because it triggers them. Not that he watches their show, obviously, just because we're good people. We like to make fun of them. So that's pretty much all we have for today. Anything else you want to add, Mike? I know it's so bad, and that is not AI. Those are all actual video clips.
There's no depth of depravity for this man. So whatever we talked about, whatever we showed, whatever we've seen, it's going to be worse this week. It's going to be worse next week. It just and the closer he gets to the ends of his trials, and the more it looks like it's obvious that he's going to lose and spend some time in a cold, dark, damp place, he is going to get even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
We can't even predict the things that are going to come out of his mouth. But yeah, we will gladly talk about it.
Yes. Everybody accuses us of having Trump derangement syndrome. I'm like, y'all worship the guy. We just make fun of him. Like, who has Trump derangement syndrome? Really?
Yeah, like,
you believe every word he says, and everybody else is lying, and you're telling us we have Trump derangement.
We can literally point out the contradictions, the lies, the bullshit, but we're deranged because we want to fight to save this country. The people that defend Donald Trump aren't fighting to save this country. They're fighting to protect Donald Trump for their own sense of self-pride, I guess. Yeah. But we're the ones, along with all the voices in the progressive media, that are trying to expose the bullshit. What they call Trump derangement syndrome is we actually just really want to stay living in a democracy.
All right, so I'll just add this and then we'll close out. If Trump derangement syndrome is real, MAGA has it, not everybody else.
True.
So, yeah, with that, that's all we have for today. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. I think we're doing 2 p.m. tomorrow. Am I correct in saying that? Yes, 2 p.m. tomorrow. We'll do our weekly review. Some more crazy 1 a.m. Adderall fueled rants from Donald Trump. And we got some good stuff tomorrow. It should be entertaining, to say the least. At least Mike and I will get some giggles out of it.
Yeah, I'll have fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Share it if you can. Every click helps. Every like helps. Obviously, we are just doing this for fun at the moment. We'd like to pursue evolving as a show in the future. So all we need is a little bit of help from you. So thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you